Mark, this is a video of our session, and I will complete a swing report later and send that to you in a few days. My goal for you is pretty straightforward. I want you to shoot lower scores. In order to do that, we have to eliminate or reduce the types of shots that cause bad scores. Some players have high scores because there's one particular type of bad shot that shows up too frequently in their game. Identifying the cause and solution for that bad shot is not a difficult task. But most players have more than one type of bad shot, and there are multiple causes and then therefore multiple solutions that they have to go through to lower their score. Every golf shot responds to only one thing, or is caused by only one thing, and that is the laws of physics and motion that exist during the moment of impact. Some of your bad shots are caused from inconsistent face control of the club. Others are inconsistent control of your low point of your golf swing. You have inconsistency in the path of your swing. These problems are common for most players. The first thing you need to understand is that every one of these are very fixable. We need to work on swing changes in pieces. And as I mentioned in our session, in order for you to make a quantum leap in progress, the first thing we have to do is change your grip. Once I complete your swing report, then we'll have a much clearer picture on the steps that we need to take in the procedure and sequencing and prioritizing of those steps.
Find it. So whatever that felt like, you want to copy it. Hold it and feel it. Good. Again. Hold that finish. Good. Good. After you've paused for a moment or two from the finish, then you can turn and look, but don't lift and look. Just turn your head and look. Putt, hold, and then look. Good. Putt, hold, and then look. Good. But you would see this approach more often on tour from this distance from the green. Now, if you move it slightly more forward and have less shaft lean, the ball will actually come off a little higher. And it won't roll out as fast. There you go. I like that better.
I feel like I'm too stiff.
Oh, that's a good question, because I am extended, but I'm relaxed. I'm not locked. But I am extended.
Okay, because I feel locked. I feel like
So I want you to have soft arms. But extended arms.
okay. That didn't feel.
Yeah.
They were like.
Hogan talked about sunny side up with his elbows. What he meant by that is that these creases are pointed up in the sky. They're not out like this. Sunny side up is to roll the arms like this, almost like you're a volleyball player.
Which I was. So I should get this.
So you're bumping a ball, but your hands are going to roll into for the grip. But you don't want your elbows out. You want your elbows in. That's sunny side up.
Up to those should be the same distance. If if I go to 11
Well,
o'clock.
it's like, you know, how far do you hit a 7-iron?
75.
175. So if you're if you're playing a par 3 and it's 175, you're going to go over and pull out your 7-iron. Once you learn what this club and your standard stock swing with this length backswing, it's going to have a number attached to it. It'll be different for every player, but you need to find out what that number is for you.
Right.
And if you're, man, I've got to hit this 65 yards. Oh, that's my 60 left arm parallel swing. I go 60 yards.
Yeah.
It's like pulling it out of the bag. And just
And
set
that,
up.
That works better when you're during nerves.
Sure.
If you have a mechanic.
You don't have to use all this creativity and imagination the day of the tournament.
Right.
You can get all these numbers worked out long before that tournament. And I don't care what that number is right now. We just so if that truly was the black pole, it's not. You can't go that far back with your backswing. So you can do what I call the point. Just do a few where you feel like you're going to go back until the shaft is pointed right at the golf ball. Do a couple rehearsal swings. Rehearse that backswing where it's just a point swing, so it feels much shorter than one before. Then just do your most comfortable swing. So it'll go a little shorter distance. So you change distance by changing backswing.
Right.
Do you choke down a little bit sometimes on these shots?
Not usually.
Would you guess that most pros do or don't? Do. And you consciously made a decision not to?
Well, when I choke down, I never feel like I don't do well. I can try choking down.
Okay, let's choke down an inch. Grip it at the full length is a power fundamental and not a control fundamental. Okay, freeze just for a second, because don't move a thing. Just, it's going to be, as a teacher, I've got to find out the history and to find out, because you have a double overlap. You have a Jim Furyk grip.
Okay.
He's the only one that does that. But that is very unusual. And
When I go like this, it hurts my fingers. It feels like it rubs on.
I don't necessarily want you to do anything that's going to hurt. Okay? But there are other options besides even that option. What's the most common grip on tour?
The interlock?
No.
Overlap?
Overlap. I played the interlock for 20 years. And a good friend of mine was Mike Dunaway. He was a 1990 World Long Drive champion. And I owned a range and teaching facility in Arkansas. He lived in that town. I was the only range he could go to that was big enough for him to practice. And this was my grip. And I went to him one day and I said, what could I change in my grip to hit it further? He didn't tell me to stop interlocking. What he told me was to get the handle out of my palm and more into the fingers of my right hand. When I did that, it made my lock unlock. And that felt odd. Man, I don't like that. I like the security of that deep lock. So I went to an overlap because that was the only way I could feel comfortable if I was going to literally have it in the fingers of my right hand. So, but see, I would like, these are the two gripper fingers. I want you to put the handle on that second knuckle of those two.
Yes.
And then just slide it down until it bumps that other finger. And then
It's interlock.
well, it doesn't have to be. You chose to have it that way. You didn't. I'm doing the same thing with all my left hand's on there. I'm doing this, sliding down and laying that on top. Now you're right. I could have lifted that up and interlocked, but I didn't have to. And I don't mind the interlock, but the fundamental is not overlap or interlock. The fundamental is you've got to be in the fingers. And
That allows you more hinge.
but it is an important fundamental to have these two middle fingers as the gripper fingers for the right hand. And you've got two fingers up here.
Then again. But it does, sometimes it doesn't fade like that. And it goes straight over.